Let the battle of the sexes begin.
If fighting for women's health care and paid family leave and equal pay is playing the woman card, then deal me in.
All right, so let's talk about that. With me now, radio talk show host and Trump supporter John Phillips, executive director of the Independent Women's Forum, Sabrina Schaefer, and CNN political commentator and Clinton supporter Hillary Rosen. Welcome to all of you. Hi, Carol.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for being with me this morning. So, John, Mr. Trump says a lot of women do not like Hillary Clinton, and I'm sure some women do not like her, but I want you to take a look at the polls. This is the latest CNN ORC poll. It shows that a lot of women actually do like Hillary Clinton. When Clinton is matched in a general election against Donald Trump, 60% of women back Clinton, 33% back Trump. So, John, are all of those women voting with their gender?
Well, the general election hasn't started yet. When the primary first started, Donald Trump was polling poorly among virtually all groups in the Republican primary, and of course those numbers turned around once he started his campaign. I think it's funny that this is the first time I can think of that a Republican is drawing heat for something that Susan Sarandon had already said, just repeating that line of attack. It's interesting also that Democrats win elections. You go back to 2008 and 2012, Democrats win elections by spiking turnout among minorities or various groups. Barack Obama did that with black voters. And if Hillary Clinton is going to win this time around, she's going to have to spike turnout among women. If you look at the numbers in the debates, the Republicans have been rating much higher than the Democrats. The numbers in turnout for Democrats are lower in many cases than they were in 2008. And she's got to do something to spike enthusiasm, and this is clearly the card that she's playing.
But doesn't he have to do that as well? And I'll ask Sabrina this question because she is a Republican woman. According to the same CNN ORC poll, Trump has a 42% unfavorable rating among Republican women. That's significantly higher than Ted Cruz or John Kasich.
Well, right, Carol. I mean, he certainly has a serious problem with women voters, but that doesn't take away from what he actually said last night, which I think is actually hit the nail on the head, which is that Hillary Clinton has framed her entire campaign in this narrative that she's sort of swimming against this sexist current. And I find it exhausting. I think lots of voters find it exhausting. And then the reality is she sort of talks about herself being an advocate for women because she wants to pass laws like the Paycheck Fairness Act or the Family Act and provide universal paid leave. Left out of this whole conversation is the kind of impact that would have on women's opportunity and economic growth, job creation, all of this. This is where Donald Trump really has an opportunity to say, here are some tangible ways that we can actually improve women's lives and help them and their families, because there are a lot of people suffering. All of this rhetoric coming from the Clinton campaign, however, is going to get us nowhere.
Okay, so getting us nowhere, but that rhetoric is used a lot by both sides of the aisle. And Hillary, I just want to present one example. Trump says Clinton didn't play the gender card so hard in 2008 when she was running against Barack Obama, but his own surrogate did. Listen to Sarah Palin in 2008.
It was rightly noted in Denver this week that Hillary left 18 million cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling in America. But it turns out the women of America aren't finished yet, and we can shatter that glass ceiling once and for all.
So Hillary, that doesn't fly this time around?
Look, I think women across America would really like to see a woman as president or as vice president or both. I don't think there's a question about that. But they want to make sure that she's qualified and that she's got a plan for where America's going. And I think Hillary Clinton has actually been incredibly clear during this campaign that her advocacy on behalf of women and children is rooted in policy. And that's going to be what carries the day. And I think that Donald Trump is going to be full of sort of comic insults because he just doesn't seem to be able to get past them. He's like a teenage boy that way. And instead, Hillary's going to be appealing to women across the board on her policies. And I think that they will like that. Do we want to see a woman president? Of course. Do we expect her to be elected because she's a woman? No. We expect her to be elected because she's going to be the best president.
John, some unfortunate optics were at play at last night's Trump rally. I want you to take a look at Chris Christie's wife, Mary Pat, as Donald Trump attacked Clinton at that rally last night. Watch.
Well, I think the only card she has is the woman's card. She's got nothing else going. And frankly, if Hillary Clinton were a man, I don't think she'd get 5% of the vote. The only thing she's got going is the woman's card. And the beautiful thing is, women don't like her, okay? And look how well I did with women tonight. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So, John, of course, Democrats and Clinton supporters are saying, look at Mary Pat, even she doesn't buy what Trump is saying. What do you say about that image?
You know, he's got a beautiful wife, he's got beautiful daughters, he's got a charming young child. Can we please stop using the Christie family as backdrops? They make for horrible backdrops. This isn't the first time the Christies have done him wrong. I think it's time that he puts him behind the curtain.
Really? You think? You think so?
Yes.
Because
Tell us what you really think.
You know, here I think is the interesting thing about Mary Pat Christie, which is that, you know, she's actually smart and thoughtful. I disagree with her politically, and I'm sure she disagrees with Hillary Clinton for the most part politically. I didn't chalk that up to, you know, her necessarily disagreeing with Donald Trump. I think she was saying, boy, this is really stupid politically.
Right.
You know, people get that. This is just not a smart thing for him to do. He doesn't seem to really even understand women voters. I mean, just the way that he talks about women generally, it's almost always about their looks and not much else. It just, I think women can relate to that, and I think Mary Pat was mostly saying, boy, that's a really dumb thing to do, Donald.
Well, Sabrina, let me ask you this, because Donald Trump is going to sit down with Megyn Kelly on Fox News very soon. So is that interview even more important for him now?
I think so. Look, I mean, Hillary Rosen and I are very much in agreement today that I don't really believe that a gender bias exists in politics anymore. I think voters are very open to having a woman president. But what they don't like is a man sort of throwing these attacks on a woman that don't necessarily have any substance. Now, I think when he points to someone like Hillary Clinton and he says, look, her policies are bad, she's playing the woman card because women are critical voting bloc, I think he has, you know, all the reason in the world to say that. But when he throws sort of ad hoc attacks at Megyn Kelly, it looks terrible. So he absolutely does need to improve his image, and he can best do that by talking about sort of tangible policy reforms that will help bring more opportunity to women and their families. That is the very best way to attract women voters.
All right, I have to leave it there. John Phillips, Sabrina Schaefer, Hillary Rosen, thanks to all of you.